So much for joining me. Today I'll be talking about is it necessary to have closure for healing? So, as some of you guys may know, I put it up on my Facebook profile asking the question, and I got a lot of great perspectives and insights and things like that. So, it led me to want to do a live on it because what I found out is that I had come across a situation where I obviously did not have complete closure in the situation, but I thought that I did. But when I ran across the opportunity to speak with these people and obtain closure, I was very excited to do so, and I jumped at the chance to do it. And I even got some apologies and some clarification about what happened, and just a feeling of understanding of where it went. So I was thinking that I was wondering how many people carry around things that they don't even know that they need closure on, that they don't even know that they're not okay with. So, I wanted to talk about that and things like that. Um, I wanted to share some of the perspectives that I got on it because I thought they were pretty insightful, especially because it was personally for me and what I was going through and the closure that I thought that I had and the opportunities that I took and the feeling that I got after closure, after hearing the other person's side, why they did what they did was so liberating. It was so powerful. It was empowering. It made me realize that you have to really find inner peace and be okay with not hearing the other person's side, not knowing why they did what they did, not caring, not having to understand it, and not even having the apology. Because you have to be able to be self sufficient because people are going to um, move how they can and how they best know how to. And it's not going to be a script that's for you or that you have expected to come your way. But I wanted to share a few of the comments that really kind of changed how I felt about it. And Andre, you're welcome to jump up if you have something to say about closure. Um, you're always welcome on any of the talks that I do. But one person in particular, Dondre, who I love very much, he's my friend on Facebook. He lives in New York, and he had this to say he when he answered this question about does closure is closure necessary for healing? And here's what he had to say: not external closure. Closure is within. So it was a simple question, but I had to have him say a little bit more. Um, so he says, I asked him, so one can obtain closure by themselves no matter if the other parties are not involved? And he said, yes, especially if the decision was for the betterment of their future. Everything else is just validation or getting facts. I see closure at peace of mind with a decision that has made by force or by choice. So what I really liked about his answer is that he said that everything else is just validation. And everything else is just kind of like your desire, your need, or want to hear what the other person has to say, but it's not necessary. You have to be able to gain closure from within and be okay with everything that is your reality. So I really love that he brought up that part that everything else is validation, and I agree with him. And then he goes on to say, sometimes the best thing in the world does not take total responsibility for what you did or why you did it and move on instead of trying to constantly seek from another person what they should. I did it is because, in the grand scheme of things, you are equally responsible for why things happen the way they happen. So you have your own part in everything. And a lot of people don't like to look at their own part in situations. So I love that he brought that up and, makes you take ownership of it and that everything that's happening to you, you're allowing. I did have a friend, her name is Rachel. She said, that's tough. I want to say yes, but I also feel like no. The closure is never what you want it to be. I think just let it go and move on. So because this is my personal situation of getting closure, like I had questions. I was like, okay, let's see if I can get through what I said to her just to the question. I said, but even in I said, I feel you on it's never what you want it to be. But even in that, doesn't that actually change the reality of the calibration and help aid in the healing? How are we sure we have completely let go? And I asked that question because I had not completely let go of these situations that I had come across. I wanted to know what happened. I wanted to know why. And when they told me why, it felt good. I felt like it had did something for me, and there were several situations. So, um, and I took the opportunity every time. So, let's see another one. My friend JC, she says, absolutely. In many instances, death, relationships, etc., time is also necessary for healing. And I believe that 100%. Give yourself time to figure out where you stand. You need not know exactly where the other person stood or where they are in that moment, but you definitely need to know how you feel and how you're going to go about healing yourself with this, how you're going to go about not letting this change your everyday activities, how you're going to go about not taking this to the next relationship and not being fearful that this is going to come through the next relationship. I also think that when things happen in relationships, some people they get very guarded, and they're like, oh my God, this happened to me, so I don't want this to happen again. So I'm just, I'm not going to date this person. I'm not going to say this. I'm not going to get in that situation. But I think that that's the wrong approach to have to this. I think we go through experiences so that we could get organic confidence through it, so that you can love even more and know that, wow, when I was blindsided, when I was knocked down, when I thought that this person could never be the person to do this to me, and they did it anyway, and you're still here, you still smile again, you go on. That is the organic confidence you need to go on and just love and experience the love and relationships that come your way. And I always talk about an internal GPS of that. You attract everything that you need. All the relationships around you are lessons and blessings for you. It's just up to you whether you take the time to explore them or not. Seneca brought something else up when he goes, I think forgiveness is needed for healing. Um, I think there's some people that I haven't all the way forgiven, but I think I've healed from it. But like you say, I didn't know that I was not at peace with the two situations that came up where I got closure. So I think we have to take calibrating ourselves to a daily thing, not just checking in on ourselves once a week, once a month. We need to do this all the time now. Every second, every minute of the day, we have to ask ourselves, how do we feel about this? How did I feel about this then, and what has changed now? Why did it change? Is it because of something I experienced? Is it something somebody said? Do I see something differently? Is it something that I read? And just take ownership of the changes that are happening to you at all times, and not try to stay stagnant with ones that gave you pain or fear or taught you a lesson. You want to take that organic confidence that you went through, and you want to you kind of want to assign it to the situation at hand, so that you can heal yourself and know that you don't need the other person to heal. But forgiveness, I do think it helps in the healing of closure. But like I said, you have to find the internalness from inside. You got to find your inner peace and be happy with what you know, what you don't know, the outcome, and just know that the universe has your best interest at hand. Everything that doesn't stay with you isn't connecting with you. It isn't right for you at that moment, at that time, whatever the reason, it doesn't even matter. It's not for you. And you need to be okay with that. And that just needs to be something that is, not something that you take personal to your calibration of why or what did I do wrong. And I think that's where a lot of us go. Why not me? What did I do? Why did they do this to me and choose to do this to me? And I think you have to take that personalness out of it and just know that everything has a beginning, middle, and end. I think our expectations of a lot of forever things make us feel less than when something ends, and especially if it ends with an uncertain ending or something we weren't expecting. So, you know, internal peace is going to be very important. Uh, Cheryl. Aaron says, I think closure can help in many ways, but not necessary. Sometimes closure is not possible, so the healing may take some additional processing on an internal level. I love Aaron to death. He always comes through with some great pieces of knowledge. And, you know, it's easy to say, find your internal peace or process it on an internal level. But what does that really mean? It means to be okay with your part in it and to accept what your contribution to the reality in that time, what the results were, and let that just be it. Not that it wasn't good enough, not that you should have did more, not that you should have did different. You should have been exactly who you were in that moment. And what you got out of it is exactly what is for you. Whether the person was confused, whether the timing was bad, whether you feel like you were done wrong, we are not delicate little flowers. We are so strong. We are the champions of every day. So we need not worry about when someone does something and it hurts our little feelings. It's okay. You get over it. You've had hurts from your mother, from your father, from the love of your life, from your children, from family members. If you can get over that, that is giving you the organic confidence to get over all of it. And it's only letting you know that you are strong enough to internally deal with it. So it's taking ownership in how strong you are and how it's built you up and giving you muscle memory instead of how it's beat you down and made you weak and made you frigid and scared and stagnant. That is not the result that you want from it. So I want you to start thinking about the things that were hard, the things that hurt your feelings, the things that you felt broke your heart, and that you still smile today. You're still here. You're still enjoying your moments. And let that be strengthening for you. Let that be like, man, if I could lose the love of my life, I could love you. Come on, let's go date. Come on, let's go explore this relationship. If my mother or my father could abandon me and I can still smile again, that means I can let this friendship go. That friend betrayed me. My own mother abandoned me. So you can give like space for the friend that you've known for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. I don't even care. It all has a beginning, middle, and end. And it need not be picture perfect, that what you had in your head. You just need to be you. And you just need to show up as you. And that gives you the confidence that everything is as it should be. When you start to calibrate differently than who you really are and how you really are, and accept things that are not of you and that don't vibe with who you are and your calibration, that's when you get an unnatural result. That's when you have to worry about, wow, did this end up right? Is this okay? Or whatnot. So don't get caught up in that. You know, be true to yourself and then know that everything that turns out around you is as it should be. And you will be okay. Man's theory means nothing in a world full of miracles. So when you think that something is going to be one way, you have no idea. There are so many millions of scenarios to play out and in your favor, not against you, and all for you. Don't let your circumstances confuse you and make you think that something's out to get you, that you're cursed, that something is beating you down. No, it's strengthening you. It's training you. It's giving you muscle memory, and you're more than capable of handling it. It's you have to. I talked a little bit about living in hindsight. In hindsight, you can look back and be like, oh my God, I thought I wasn't going to make it. That was like the worst. I didn't know what I was going to do. And then such and such came through, or this came in the mail, or then I got this approval. That's what you need to know is going to happen to your every day, every moment. And you need to move and act like that. You need to put work in. You need to believe and keep your faith and just move in yourself and the greatness that you are. It will come to fruition. Don't doubt it. Okay. And that's a good step to get to inner peace. Just being completely okay with your actions and reactions and making sure that they're yours, that you've chosen the polarity in them and that they haven't chosen you. Because a lot of us get caught up in the momentum of social influences, marketing and TV influences, people around you, family influences, all those things. You have to make sure that you do a check with who you are right here and now. What's your calibration? What do I feel about this? How do I feel about this? And where do I stand in this? Not just take your old perspectives from when you were younger. You've grown so much, you've seen so much more, you've had these different conversations. So it allows you to grow. Respect your growth, honor your growth, and know that you get stronger. Let's see. Kim says, I think the only thing necessary for healing is to forgive. Some things just aren't possible to close. There's a quote: forgiveness is giving up all hope for a better past, and giving up the hope for a better past. The door can be closed and another door can be opened to a hopeful future. I hope that makes sense. I'm working at it anyway. I think it's just, if you're putting energy into an old door, that you don't have the strength or focus or intention for the new door that you may be put in front of to open. And I think that you have to look forward, you have to look now, you have to be present. It makes a difference in how you move, in how you receive things, how you learn things, and how you grow. So make sure that you're present in the now and you're not looking back or to the future. Okay, so Devon says, I believe setting the situation free within yourself will create closure within itself. Yes. So definitely, I love it, love it, love it. I wanted to thank everybody that came on and shared their thoughts with me about closure and forgiveness. And thank you so much for coming in to get vocal and checking me out, Andre. You're so supportive. I love your supportive spirit. And I just thank you so much. And anyone who is watching this or watches this on any of the other platforms, I thank you so much for checking it out. And I hope that you can find inner closure within yourself and know that you are more than capable of dealing with whatever wants to leave, whatever has happened, whatever just is. If it's happening to you, it means that you are capable of dealing with it. So go ahead, look at the situation, see how you would deal with it, and jump right in. Choose your polarity in it. Find your inner peace. Let go of things you cannot control, and own yourself. Own the things you can control within. So make the decisions calibrated from you and only you. All right. So this is Leah, the life coach, and I thank you so much for calibrating with me. I will be on again to answer all the questions that I put on my Facebook. If you want to be a part of it, check out my questions on Facebook, check out my questions on Instagram, and check me out here when I go live and I talk about it and I explore it. I really want to thank all the people who answer the questions, because I do that because I think that seeing somebody else's perspective can open up doors for someone else to accept and love and forgive themselves for who they are, and that they don't have to hold on to something that makes them feel less than. So when they see other people's answers to these questions, they actually open themselves up to it. They may not go with it, but at least they ask themselves how they felt about that response, how they felt about that perspective. And it hasn't just been lying dormant since you were taught something at a young age, because we grow and change so much. So I think the questions are great. They've helped me to see different perspectives. They've definitely helped my clients see different perspectives. So the questions are not always about me, but some of them are, and some of them are about my clients and what they're going through. And they've been able to see something differently and show up differently and choose a different polarity in certain things that they didn't even know was inside of them. That's what we have to do, is ask ourselves questions all the time. All the time. So I'll be back here with more questions. If you want to join me, if you want to submit some questions, don't hesitate. My email is leahthelifelifecoach@gmail.com. My phone number is 818-319-3313. My website is leahthelifecoach.com. And I look forward to calibrating with each and every one of you. Thank you so much again.